Warning, if you're faint of heart or easily offended, this show is not for you.
So, I mean, I know I haven't been here for months. Like,
Yeah.
are you you did okay without me?
Yeah, I did okay without you. Yeah.
I mean, there's no way. I mean, you were probably not. You're pretty sad without me in the.
Well,
in
the
studio.
shows did pretty good.
I mean, it was okay. Like,
Well, yeah, they were pretty okay.
I mean, your show's okay without me. So, what about your co-hosts? Like,
What about them?
were they like? I mean, they weren't as good as me with you.
They
right?
were fine. They were good. They were fine.
I mean, like, yeah, they were good, but they weren't like.
Oh, okay, Veronica, fine. You're the best. You're the best. I mean, what? You're the best. You know it. What are you gonna do? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, are we recording?
Yes.
Why? Why are you appeasing him? You know the line. You know the line.
I can put my
He's supposed to say
all
no.
All day today, you've been rolling out the red carpet and just you're not even wrapping up the gift. You're just like, here's your fucking gift in your face.
Yeah, it's just the money shot today.
Oh my God. Okay, let's just fucking go. This is, we can't do skits today.
You can't hear my voice on that mic.
He was supposed to say no,
He was supposed to say no.
But I was fucking with you.
and then what do I do?
I said, yeah, you're supposed to go like, yeah, but you already did it. You already did the line. Okay, you're ready.
This is the Nick Vertucci show.
I know, right? Like, this is a disaster. Thanks for being back.
It's gonna work what you guys already did.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right, so should I start the show for real? Should I really start this fucking piece of shit? You probably should leave that in too. Fuck it. Let's just do a
leave
blooper
everything
section.
in. Just an hour of bloopers.
Just whatever.
So can I start the show?
Can I start?
Are you on meds today?
Which ones?
So is this natural? Oh my God. You're literally
12.
12.
Yeah.
And the difference between, no, I can't say that.
Uh-oh.
There's a lot of guys in my DMs who have the maturity level. Same thing.
Dude, if you knew the depths of my immaturities, like the real depths. The real depths. So, this is the Nick Vertucci show. I am Nick Vertucci. I am here with Vicky, Valerie, Veronica Brill, a.k.a. her last show ever with me. Let's go.
I'm never coming back, ever.
I know.
Just
At
be
least
warned.
it finally set into your big, thick skull.
My thick skull.
Yeah,
At
your
least
thick
I have
skull.
a noodle in mine.
Well, whatever. You're fat.
You're fat.
You're fucking fat.
Has anyone seen you below this table? You got like sticks and a big avocado belly, and then oh my God, no one wanted to see that.
Whatever. You can't
Have
call
you
me fat
ever done
anymore.
a squat?
Oh, now we're going to talk about squats? We're not talking about my fat belly anymore? How about you? When's the last time
Are you
did a
wearing
squat?
a plastic cover?
Yeah, one of those rubber ab things.
You've got a corset.
Yeah.
Wife
Tell the
had
truth.
to, like,
Tell the
put-
truth. If you're being honest, were you a little shocked at what you saw?
I don't know. You're
Stop
still,
bullshitting for
you're
once in your
still
life.
Fat. There's just like muscles around the fat.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Do you want to talk about anything normal?
Yeah, I do. I want
right.
to talk about how I got shunned by the WPT ladies final table.
Okay, so what do you mean? How does that work?
I
have not thought
I am
about you
exaggerating.
or followed you around since you've been gone.
Yeah, so I went to the WPT, which was, I thought, I enjoyed it more than the World Series of Poker. And there weren't as many events, but oh my God, did they roll out the red carpet for all of us, especially women. They had the best ladies event. They had ladies cash games.
They had a ladies main table and you weren't there?
The main table. So they had a ladies 25-50 cash
Okay.
game table, yes. But the final table of the ladies event, I didn't make the final table.
Oh, okay. Well, that was your problem.
So I went to go watch because Jamie Kerstetter was on the final table. Shout out to Jamie Kerstetter. And I was like, well, yeah, I'll just like stroll on into a TV table. Like, no problemo. No. You had to be on a list. I wasn't on a list.
Well, they wouldn't even let you near it?
They wouldn't let me near it. So they're like, oh, if you want to sit back here, this is where the overflow is, and you can wait, and we can see about potentially getting you in.
How small and unimportant did you feel?
I am small and unimportant.
No, but how small and unimportant did you feel? I know what you are.
I felt like a flea. Like a flea. Like a gnat. A nit, a gnat.
You're a nit. You're a gnat, I'm a nit.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, it's not like I'm going to be in there like, I am Veronica Brill, you best let me in, or I will talk about you in a future podcast. No, I just didn't even realize it was going to be such a big deal. I didn't realize it was going to be like security and like a full studio. And, you know, most places will have their final table just in the poker room or whatever and just have cameras up. Well, not most people, but they do that. But it was like, at a TV table, they had a studio, they had a list, they had, I mean, I was not a VIP.
You weren't, but let me ask you this.
Not even a free drink.
This is, well, you know how to get free drinks. So this is an honest question. It's not a troll. No, I know you, and I want to know, like, at that moment, how offended were you 1 to 10? I wasn't.
What do you think? I walk around
then why are you talking about it?
What do you want?
Sayonara, motherfucker.
What do you want me to talk about?
Are we breaking up again?
What do you want me to? Do you want me to talk about?
Are we breaking up again? Listen. Linda, listen.
What do you want me to talk about?
I figured that maybe possibly you would be a little offended. Like maybe
Why
just
would I
like
be offended?
I don't know. You weren't really?
I'm literally sitting across from you, and I did for months. Why would I be offended suddenly when WPT doesn't let me sit?
Wait a minute, that's a dig.
Yeah. At you.
Well, all right. So you weren't offended.
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
I
was just giving you a chance to open up, if you needed to.
It really hurt.
That's what I'm looking for.
Deep down inside.
That's what I'm looking for.
I had to go play 2-5 PLO instead.
I want to be the Roy Firestone of interviews.
Okay, I'm going to open up now.
Did you ever see Jerry Maguire?
I did. It was a long time ago.
Yeah. Anyways, they made him cry.
Wasn't that like 30 years ago?
Another dig. Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm almost as old as you.
Not really.
I mean, I'm
10 years younger.
Oh, I thought you were 65. Oh, never mind. No, so they wouldn't let me in. I played a lot of PLO that weekend, but the WPT was...
Do you play PLO, like, legit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I love PLO.
You do?
I love it.
Hopefully you're better at it.
Well, so PLO is easier because your equities are a lot closer pre-flop. So you can just play anything, you know?
Sure.
With anyone's money.
With anyone's money, yeah. Yeah, there's the real truth. So did you do okay?
Well, so here's my thing. I always lose on TV tables and I always win off stream. It's just kind of like, look, the universe, I don't understand it. I don't believe in karma or luck or anything, but you know, fuck me. I don't know what the fuck's going on. The universe has this thing where I just don't win on streamed games. It's just the way it is.
Well, you kicked your fucking universe down to me lately, last 3 weeks.
Well, you know, karma, if it's real, has caught up with
Listen,
you, baby.
If karma was real, I would have never won yet, ever. Right?
What does that mean?
I don't know. I just figured I'd take your line from you.
So what were we going to talk about?
I swear I have no idea what this podcast is supposed to be about. Not a clue.
Well, we were going to talk about, since you were going to talk about karma, we were going to talk about your downswing.
We talked about that already.
Well, I swear to fucking God, listen to me, audience. Him and I sat across from each other eating food literally 10 minutes ago. And I was like, we were talking about what we were going to talk about. And I was like, Nick, let's dive more into your downswing. Let me finish. Let's dive more into your downswing. I think a lot of people could resonate with it. We could talk about your stop loss. We could talk about, you know, like, what do you do if you hit 200, 300K? Sure, Veronica, sure. And then he sits down while we're here and he's like, we already talked about that.
Well, so there's two things that are in play there. The first one is I was eating a kebab. The second one is I did that to annoy you. Swear.
No, you didn't.
I'm not that old.
No one said anything about you being old.
Well,
but
old,
you are
forgetful.
that something.
My noodle. Again, we're talking about my noodle. Okay, so let's talk about it. What do you want to know?
So you're on a 150K downswing.
Yeah.
It's your biggest poker downswing.
I lost 9 in a row.
9 streams in a row.
9 in a row.
What was your biggest loss? Was it Max Payne?
That was up there. I think I lost more on that Wednesday when I mentioned I was sick and had a headache and
you were
punted.
throwing up that day?
No, that was Tuesday. Yeah, these are all different days.
The throw up day is
These
Tuesday.
are no
I'm trying
excuses.
to figure out.
These are no excuses. Doesn't matter, sick, not sick, whatever. There's a lot of bad play in there. There's a ton of variance. But yeah, it's been something. It's been really weird. And you asked me the last time we talked about it on the last show, but then we didn't get to it. You said, like, what do they say to you? Like, because I work with someone. And so a couple people that I do
You're
talk to.
talking about a coach. Just tell people. When
I
you
said
say you work with someone.
Yeah, I've always said the word coach. I don't back away from it.
Not everyone knows what you mean.
Yeah, I have someone I work with about poker that
right. So you have a poker coach. So what is your?
You like the term poker coach? Like, is that mandatory?
I think for the audience,
yeah,
it's good for them to know that you're like not mumbling like, yeah, I just work with someone. Like, what do you mean? You work with a hooker about your?
No, I hire them. I don't work with them. So here's the thing. Okay, so the person that coaches me in poker.
There we go. It feels so
and
good.
A couple other people that I respect a lot. You asked what they told me, and what they told me is what the truth is that every poker player, if you play a lot and you play it on the course of years, you're going to experience it. There's no rhyme reason about it. You go through it, and how you deal with it and embrace it. Some last longer than others, and we've talked a lot about it, but they're very difficult to deal with. It does. I will say this: people have been enjoying it, so that's good.
So what's your stop loss?
I really never thought about a stop loss. I mean, look, if I play poker for the next 2 years and I can't win, that's not going to happen. God forbid, knock on wood. But I don't have a stop loss.
Let's have a hypothetical universe. The next every time you sit down, you're losing.
I'm not going to stop playing.
So you would lose your net worth?
No.
Live with me here. Live with me in an imagination state, okay?
Well, I don't want to tip off what my net worth is by saying what I could lose to get me to stop.
Well, I'm assuming you wouldn't play until you have no net worth.
No, of course not. I would never do anything to not have no net worth.
You should be playing with a percentage of what you're worth, not everything. So there has to be a stop loss. I'm not asking your net worth. I'm asking, at what point do you say, I can't play for a while?
Oh, for a while, like not forever. No, I'm trying to understand your question, I swear.
Are you very literal?
I must be right now. I must be right in this moment. Right in this moment, I must be, because I don't know how to. It's like that's the way my brain's functioning. Like, I'm trying to answer your question.
That was the best answer to that question that I've ever heard. Because I ask people, I've worked with people who are very literal.
Yeah.
And you have to change the way you speak with them because they don't have like the ability to have like a wide imagination or.
No, I think I'm not always literal, but for right now, I feel literal. I don't know why. It's just how I took the question. Okay, so yeah, how about this? This isn't anything to do with this would be a temporary stop loss. If I lost another 10 in a row and I lost another 300K, I'd probably take a break.
So where is your line for having to go down in stakes?
No.
You're not going down in stakes?
No.
I think higher stakes is easier. There's so many grinders in 5-10 and 10-20.
Yeah.
When you play 25-50 with some rich, fun whales, oh my God, the game's so much easier.
Yeah.
It's almost like playing 1-3 again.
But no, and I got trolled for this. So this is just like how I lose 51 in a Monday game is like this. And I get trolled because, Mike was going crazy about, all you play is aces, all you play is kings.
Shout out to Mike Madison.
It's not true. It's actually so not true. But with that said, those hands did haunt me lately. So on that Monday, aces, get it all in with the guy to my right, some new kid. I don't know what it was for, 10, 15K each maybe. Ace, king suited, diamonds. One time, flush, diamonds. Happens. Kings.
Karma.
Fuck off. Kings. Get it in with Billy. He gives me that look, and I'm like, fucking got aces, huh? And one time, aces.
How come you're only running it once?
It's Max Pay Monday.
Oh, yeah.
So that literally, with like 3 or 4 more hands like that, and then you push one hand. I made a $1,200 call I wouldn't have normally made against Billy on the river. Like, you add up everything, and it just happens. It doesn't, even in a small sample size like that, a handful of hands dictates, because you only play 5 hours. And so it dictates your whole session. So it's hard to play on a stream for 5 hours. And like, even if I say, that's this many in a row, it's such a small sample size, but it's just happening. Like, it's just is what it is. I'm really actually not really that worried about it.
So that river call you said for $1,200 against Billy that you normally wouldn't make, did you make it because you were slightly tilted?
Yeah, I was frustrated, because you do get frustrated. That's why I talked earlier with you on the other show that, like, that's where you have to keep the wheels on. And like, I had a pair of jacks, 3-bet, he 4-bet, I flat. Comes ace blank blank. He checks, I check, blank. He checks, I check. River card, he bets 1,200. I fucking know he's got an ace or a 10 that came on the turn. It could have been 3 10s, but like, I just know he played it that way against me for that reason, and I should just take that hand, and I would normally just muck it. But I called just out of frustration. So there's those little leaks that normally aren't there that you have to patch up, because when you lose aces against ace king and kings against aces, those are inevitable. That's just going to happen. There's nothing you can do. But what you have to do is you have to make like the other night on the Wednesday when I was sick, not the Tuesday game, but the other one when I had the headache. Like, literally, I should have lost $10,000 to $12,000, and I lost. I think I lost 50 something that night too. And the reason is because I got in a hand, and I know the 2 players I'm in the hand with. One of them's Alec Torelli. I know he's not giving anything away. Anyways, I had ace queen. Billy says that the call was fine. I think if I'm playing optimal, I make the fold on the turn, whatever. And then the last hand of the night, it's raise, re-raise against Alec again, and I got ace 5 suited. That's a fold to me on the button. It's an absolute fold. I never make that, and I got 17,000 left, and I didn't feel good, and I shoved and got called, and he had aces. So those are like, that's the night where I said there was like a $40,000, like, I'm accountable on that 150. I'm accountable for about 50 of it.
Most people are losing to Alec Torelli anyway. So
yeah, I mean,
you're not special.
Yeah, but I think I'm special.
I know you do.
Yeah,
so we were talking about downswings, and you've taken some life downswings.
Yes.
What's your biggest life downswing?
My biggest financial life downswing, I have one emotional and one financial.
We want to hear the dirty finance stuff.
Yeah, the financial downswing was, I started a tech business in 1989. I blew it up to a really big number of gross revenue and making money. The dot-com crash happened, and I hung on to that business for 3 or 4 years too long, and I lost probably 4 or 5 million in net worth trying to hang on to the business by refinancing my house and putting good money in a bad situation, which I would never do again with life experience. I read a book called Who Moved My Cheese. It was one little pivotal moment. There was a lot of things, but that book really like woke me up. And then to add, to compound that, I probably went personally another 4 in debt in the business.
4
million.
4 million.
Yeah, I was probably stuck anywhere from, again, it's vague, but like 6.5 to 8 million, somewhere in there where I was upside down. I had wife, 2 kids, and 1 on the way. And literally was one of the lowest times in my life. I actually thought about killing myself.
So did you have someone who helped you mentally deal with that part, that time?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Well, one pivotal person in my life was, and I told this story recently, so if you see it again, it's just redundant, it has to be. I got invited. Okay, so I got invited during this time from a guy who was also losing his business, to a 3-day real estate class. He had paid $6,000 for it, which I thought he was a fucking idiot for paying for this thing. And he invited me to go as a guest because he could bring one person. I said no at first because I could not imagine going on the weekend and even trying to focus or think, because I needed that weekend to like be in a shell to cry my way back on to my business on Monday I was in a forbearance agreement with the bank. And so, but I went. And I somehow figured out how to leverage another $50,000 to pay for a bunch of training. This is like the company I started again later, but and I figured out, and I'm going to make this really short. I figured out how to be a real estate investor. I made a ton of mistakes there first too. I was circling the drain. I don't want to tell the whole story because I don't want it to go too long. Maybe I'll tell it another time, but I figured out how, so here's how it happened. This was the pivotal part for me. When you get in that state of mind, and people seen these on my rants, and I'm just going to say it quick, you go into a negative, you go from positive winning attitude to the most negative person I went through that I didn't even recognize myself. I was in an environment in my business where my partner was negative. I literally, just like when you're on a downswing, like you expect to lose and you take on this vibe that you're not going to win. And that's what I've been fighting even with this downswing, is I'm not going to let myself go there. And I'm actually going to stop talking about it even on stream. People are going to troll me and bust my balls, but I'm not going to let it go there because I've been down this road. But anyways, so I went to this, I spent all this money and I went to this week training in Orlando. I'm going to fast forward this. They were all these boot camps each day, like 5 to 7 days. And I got in this one class that was a cash flow class. It was about buying rentals and getting passive mailbox money. I'm doing this fast. And it really resonated with me because my other business was building a computer, doing this, selling it, making money, and repeating the cycle. I wanted something now, and then when that music stops or your industry crashes, you can no longer do that. But if you build something up that is residual, that pays you even if you are sick, pays you even if there is a downturn in the economy, that resonated with me. Now, the guy teaching it, his name was Chris. Now, after the class was up, I approached him, so naive. And I'm like, hey, can you help me more? I didn't even know what I was doing. I'm like, I need to learn this. And he's like, well, and it's like he had so many people probably doing this to him, because even when I started my trading company, they all did it to me. And it was like, and he's like, I'll give you my email. I'm like, no. I don't want your email. I want help. I want you to mentor me. And he's like, Nick, I can't do it, whatever. And I'm talking fast because I just don't want to bore people. But he said no. And I'm like, I didn't have any money. And I'm like, I'll pay you. Like, I came up with a number like 10K. He's like, dude, no, like I can't. I got thousands of students. I got a family. I'm not doing it. And I want to, and no offense. And then I offered him more. I got to a point where I offered him $30,000. I had no idea if I couldn't, 30,000, I was in debt millions. I just, was resourceful and I thought I could get it. And finally, when I said that number, he finally looked at me after coming back like 2 days in a row, like to bother him. He finally said, okay, when do you want to do this? And then it scared the shit out of me because I don't know how I was going to pay him. But I figured it out, borrowed it, and went across country again about a month later or 2 weeks later to go to his house to spend, I think it was 3 days or 4 days with him. And we were talking on the first day. And now when you're in this state of brokenness, you wear, like, I wore my losership on my sleeve. Like, everything was about my problems. Everything was about me being broke. Everything was about me losing my house. I was just about to lose my house, all this stuff. And we were like about 3 hours into it, and he stops and he goes, listen, he goes, before we keep talking about cash flow and rentals and cap rate and all this other stuff, he goes, I'm just going to tell you something right now. He goes, unless you lose this identity that you've taken on about how bad things are, you're never going to be a winner, and I don't care what I teach you. He goes, let me ask you something. He goes, did you eat today? I said, yeah. He goes, are we going to probably go to lunch later? And I said, yeah. He goes, do you have any death sentence or anything you're dying of? I said, not that I know of. Do you have family? Yeah. You have kids? Yeah. Do people love you? Like, if you lose your house, can you go live with someone? Yeah. He goes, then fucking shame on you. He goes, because you're still ahead of fucking so many % of the people in this world. Do you understand that? And dude, at first, I was so offended. I was like so offended. I'm paying this guy $30,000. You're gonna fucking insult me? But then it hit me. Oh my God, he's right. And so what we worked on, a lot of that 4 days, was not just like all the formulas and cap rates and this and that. He taught me something called pattern interruption, which was when I felt that fear, that hopelessness, how to replace it with something else positive. Now, you still have to get up and go work and do things. You can't just be positive and just get something. We've talked about this before, right?
Mm-hmm. The secret.
Yeah, the secret. Of course not. You have to have a vehicle and you have to get up and go, and nothing's showing up.
Being positive definitely helps.
It helps, meaning like it helps you take your next step, because fear and depression is disabling.
Well,
you can't think.
Fear and depression is also, you're a prisoner in your own mind. And you can be, well, everyone is their own worst enemy. So that you're just creating bars around yourself to not be able to move. I was
in a state of such lowness that, like I mentioned, I actually considered not being here. I thought it'd be better for everybody. And I couldn't be successful anyways because I was paralyzed by it. And he taught me so many other things that I'm not going to waste everyone's time with, because I'm going to make it quick. And I worked that.
You could read his book and
it's all in there. Yeah. I worked that headspace stuff like that so hard, along with the other stuff, that meaning the real estate principles. And over the course of like 5 years, so it doesn't happen some people does happen overnight. For me, it didn't. But they call it in real estate, one door at a time. I worked one door at a time until I worked myself not only out of all that debt, plus the debt I was in debt for, but then started really crushing it in real estate. Because in 2008, when the real estate market crashed, I had learned that even though it was the worst real estate market ever, that was the best for an investor. Like Warren Buffett says, buy fear, sell greed. And most people, when the market's hot and going up, that's when they invest. That's speculating. When the market was down at its lowest, the market was gripped with fear. That's the time to buy. And I learned how to not only use my own money, but to use other people's money and to find it and do this. And I did one door at a time, and I got invited on a radio show and to sell properties. Then I got my own radio show. Then I got invited, asked to be part of this real estate training company where I wrote all the curriculum for the 3-day class and then was selling my properties. I was at one point selling about 70 or 80 properties a month, because I was buying them. I was rehabbing them and putting renters in them, and they were cash flow properties for investors. They weren't like fix and flip retail stuff. I was making about 10 or 12,000 a piece, but I was doing like I said, I was doing like 60, 70 of them a month. And so it just started spiraling. And then I looked up one day and I was there, and I couldn't even tell you how the hell it happened, other than I know how it happened. But I will tell you this, and we'll leave it at this and we'll move on. About 3 years later, I was at the pinnacle of making money. From 2008 till 2014, I was destroying it in the real estate market. Like, couldn't even tell you. It's where I made all my money. People can say whatever they want. That's where I made my money. And every time when I was in the computer business for 18 years, when the time it got worse was around November, December, because that's when companies shut down, and that's when, if you're running a business that's selling and collecting, it's a cash flow thing. And if you're undercapitalized because now you're not doing good, you have more cash flow problems. You can't meet the needs of what you're even trying to do. And so that's when I was the most stressed out. I spent like 3 or 4 Christmases like a mummy, sitting there watching my little babies open presents that I bought that I couldn't afford, and literally missed it. I missed it emotionally. I missed it. Now I was at my peak. And when November came around, even though we're in California, there still is a seasonal change. It gets dark earlier. My body, I all of a sudden was panicked one year, and I couldn't figure out why I'm so panicked and full of this fear again, because I had worked that out. And I realized my body recognized that season change and remembered that's when I was in the state of most pain. So I had to go back and work that program again and work all the techniques that I worked, and did it on a daily basis. I would literally be driving around in my car saying shit out loud to re-anchor and re-pattern any of that bullshit. And so that's why when I wrote that book, it's like, look, yeah, you could be a chemist, you could be a genius, you can make money in the lotto, but there are so many success principles that are so simple, and they're not really that riveting. And that's why you see guys that have a K through 12 education that don't know shit, like you even say sometimes, and can't remember shit, but they're successful, versus somebody that maybe has all the degrees or something, but they just don't put that next foot in front of the other. So that's my rant, but that was my biggest downswing.
So who has been mentoring you now through this downswing? Was it your coach?
Yeah, but it's not the same. But yes, I'll just tell you this. I lean on Billy DGAF. He's a friend of mine now. He's been around poker for 30 years plus, and he's been through everything. And so even, I wouldn't say he's mentoring me, but I would say like, we'll get on the phone once in a while and he's like, Nick, look, dude, I've been through this. Like, it's nothing. Like, I'm watching you and I'm watching you play. And, the one night you lost like 13,000, you played, or no, not 13. It was like 4,000. He goes, you played perfect.
Do you know how I would describe DGAF in like one sentence? He gets poker.
He does.
He gets it.
He gets it. Everything about it.
Everything about poker. He gets the dynamic between the media and the game. He gets the dynamic of the players. Like, I reached out to him and I'm like, what Sashimi's doing is genius. I don't know what you've done as a part of it. And he's like, oh no, it's all her. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. I know that he chooses certain people for that game.
Yeah. Oh, he does.
Sashimi he's given her space to blossom, to be her own character. And she knows exactly what she is doing. Yes. And all that hysteria that she created around her and the show just like turned her into a superstar.
Billy has done a phenomenal job with Max Payne Monday. And just for everyone that's now in the comments section, Billy's not my coach, but he's a friend. And the person I do work with, we have the same conversations. And, there was I can't remember the name of the book. It's blue. It's fucking blue. This should be encouraging to you folks out there. It's a blue book. It's blue. It's The Mindset of Poker. And there's 2 books. One's red. But anyways, I did the audio on both, and I've been listening to that talk about variance and talk about different things, and I've been working with people and talking to people. And so if you caught me back when I told you in that November when it was happening, I didn't get it. I would literally walk away from the table and call the guy I work with and say, I don't know what's happening. I'm fucking done. Like, this is da da da. And he'd be like, you're like, he didn't say it this way, but he was saying, you're a fucking pussy. You're a baby. This is what poker players go through unless you get mentally tough. And so I worked in the last year as much on my mental game. It's even, you can ask Ryan, like, now I lose or I like get coolered. And he's like, yeah, you're so much like more relaxed. Like, you just keep playing and you rebuy, you're just going. Like, I don't see you even flinching. And I just don't. I don't get tilted now when I'm stuck. I will, initially when you get really coolered and then you're running bad, like, I'll have my moments where I'm a little frustrated, but you can't do it. If you do, you just can't win in poker.
So I'm such a nihilist. You know what we've talked about nihilism. So nihilism is basically you don't believe that anything matters. Like, I believe that the sun's eventually going to burn out, which is true. The earth will...
That's your truth.
Okay.
Right.
Science, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, the universe is expanding. All the energy will eventually disperse and nothing will be here. And I'm like, nothing really matters. So, I just dumped off 2-3K in my game. And whatever, man, I'm going to die one day. That's kind of how I look at things.
Whatever gets you there, bro. If being a nihilist and thinking nothing matters makes your head feel nice, go for it.
That's how I approach life. I'm relentlessly moving forward, although my line is more linear and not exponential. Like, some people really shoot up fast. But I did not have a great childhood. I was not given a good foundation. So I've taken a really scenic route to get to where I am.
That's a nice way to put it.
But I'm fairly successful and I've got my shit together and I don't have any debt. I don't have any terrible habits besides poker, PLO, PLOA.
And dick. But listen, here's the thing that I want to tell you. Here's the thing that I want to tell you, though. No, in all seriousness.
I feel like I'm doing a podcast with a fucking 12-year-old.
But listen.
No, it's okay. I was done. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I do have something very nice. I have something very nice to say to you.
I want you to say something really nice.
I do.
Go ahead.
So I was so excited to say it that I cut you off.
Yeah, and Dick.
I did what you normally do.
And
I
Dick.
couldn't. My favorite line in a movie was Vince Vaughn in The Breakup. You got to Google it. I know it's a million years ago, but he's fighting with Jennifer Aniston, and they're fighting, and she's talking about his family and his brother, and they're going back and forth. And he goes, "Yeah, well, your sister." She goes, "Don't you talk about my sister. She's been through a lot." And he pauses and he goes, "Of dick," and so that's where that comes from. But But I did cut you off like you do to me all the time, and I hate that, so I apologize. But I want to say this.
You're the Kanye West right now. Look, Taylor, I know you won Album of the Year, but
okay,
Beyonce's album,
look, it was good.
I'm going to let you talk.
But I'm going to let you talk, but check this out. Knowing what I know about you and what you've shared with me and the things I know about your upbringing and actually some things I've heard, you have done an amazing job with your life because you're a human being's early years and nurturing and the way they're raised is literally 99.9% of like who they are, what they become. And at some point, I know you had choices to make to go this way or that way. So all the trolling, all the bullshit, biggest pain in the ass you are, you've done an amazing job as a person. I mean that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Well,
so isn't it worth it that I cut you off?
I mean, yeah, sure.
Okay.
No, but basically, I don't even remember what I was saying.
Yeah, because you feel so good right now.
Okay, so I was saying that there's one life, and the way I think about things is that I just try anything. A lot of people are very afraid of failure. I am not afraid of failure. I am not afraid of looking bad in anyone else's eyes. I actually don't really care that much about what people think of me. My very close friends, I am concerned if I come across badly or if I'm not listening to them or I'm making it too much about myself. I'm in my head about that. But like for most people, I don't really care. I don't care if I look like, oh yeah, she just failed. She got up there. She dumped off 5K in the 25-50 game. Yeah, and so I got up there. Where were you? Like, how come you didn't get invited? And then it's like with work, like I apply to jobs that I don't think I'm qualified for and I fucking get them somehow.
Yeah.
And like, I just am relentless because I think I might die one day. Why not fucking try it? And if I don't get it, who the fuck cares? If one door closes, another one's going to open for me. And so I'm just like never ending, constantly trying something new, constantly like attempting something that everyone tells me I can't do. And I just don't listen to anybody and I just continue on. And that's, I think, has led me to success. I'm not a multimillionaire, but I'm, I have a good job. I have success professionally and,
well, if being a nihilist allows you to keep the grind, then whatever it takes.
No, I'm just a nihilist by default. I actually don't think anything matters long term. I think today matters. I think I make my life matter. I think people give meaning to their lives. But I don't, like, after I die, like, whatever, I'm gone. But I'm just saying that instead of saying, well, nothing matters, like I'm not going to attempt anything, I use that as like, who the fuck cares? I'm going to be irrelevant and gone one day. So might as well apply for that, particle physics job at the particle accelerator lab. No, I didn't do that.
See, it's so weird. And I'm trying to think if I mean this because I just thought of it right now. So I might want to walk it back. But I almost feel if I believed what you believe, that I almost would be a worse person.
Why is that?
I don't know. I got to think that out. I may be not what I'm thinking. Just because then I'm like, why does it matter if I do that or do that? Because nothing's after this. And I know we got to be careful, but
I think this will explain it better. I kind of have, someone was talking about this on TikTok, so this is not my original idea, so don't come for me. I have this like disease that's like, how hard could it be? I'm like, how hard could it be to go work on an analytics team? How hard could it be? Well, let me try.
Yeah.
Oh, how hard could this tech job be? Working for a software company. Oh, build an interface? I've never built an interface before. How hard could it be? And then I'm halfway through a project crying, what the hell am I doing with my life?
Yeah, so stupidity got you there.
Well, it's basically, I don't really think there's anything I couldn't accomplish within reason. I'm not going to the space station.
Well, to be honest with you, that is the kind of mindset that successful people do have is they really just will not allow, it's basically your,
I'm relentless.
Yeah, you have, that's in there.
I don't give up. I'm relentless. And if I don't care if I'm not the smartest person in the room. Most of the time I'm not. I don't give a fuck. But I'm more curious. I'm more curious than most people. And I will, like, if I don't know something, I will either find a person to tell me what I need to know, or I will research the shit out of it. I'm like reading most evenings, looking things up because I'm like, I need to know this to do my job better. Yeah. And I'm not going to sit around for the next 10 years twiddling my thumb being like, well, I don't know that, so I won't touch it. I don't like that.
Yeah. No, being dead inside has its benefits. I will tell you guys. So no,
I love being dead inside.
Kudos to you.
I love not having a heartbeat. This is why I'm a vampire. You know,
yeah.
It's
Don't go to
Botox.
Oz. Don't go to Oz and get fixed.
It's not Botox. It's actually just me being dead inside. That's why I don't smile. I don't wrinkle up my forehead because I don't actually make expressions because I don't care about anything.
No, you don't. I know. I found out. So, very interesting topic. Very interesting.
Struggling to find an all-in-one platform for the latest poker news and thrilling poker stories? Only Poker has got you covered. The platform is packed with exciting poker news, discussions, and games that you won't be able to resist. Share your thoughts with friends on the hottest poker topics in our circle. Discover the best poker games anytime, anywhere, and secure your seat at the table. Find all your poker needs in one place. Download Only Poker and join the best poker community today.
You interrupted me to say that. So yeah, no.
Did I interrupt you again?
You're always interrupting me. So I want to talk about Hustler Casino Live and the plan. So first of all, Hustler Casino got nominated for the GPI Awards for Best Live Stream.
Yeah.
It would be, and I'm just being honest, I'm not doing this because I genuinely don't like you.
I know.
So I'm saying the truth.
No, this must be true.
It would be like, I would be flabbergasted if Hustler didn't win. Given Mr. Beast, given the Jack Forehand got nominated for Hand of the Year.
Did it really?
That was crazy.
That will win.
That's gonna win. It's just so weird. I can't imagine what Garrett's gonna be doing watching that win. You know, who takes the win for that hand? Does Robbie go up and get a fucking award?
I don't know. That is so weird.
What kind of world do we live in? It's so insane. So if Hustler doesn't win, it's gonna be. I'm just gonna be baffled.
Listen, I would never say this if I didn't believe it in my heart, and it's really like this is like.
But it's a voting system by your peers.
Yeah, so that's probably why we could go the other way, but. Like when LeBron said he's the greatest player ever, he became not the greatest player ever to a lot of people, me too. So you have to be very careful when you say this, but I just think that if somehow we probably didn't win that award, that this whole thing's a sham.
Well, okay. If you didn't win it, then your peers fucking hate you.
They don't like us. So that's why that's why we may not win it.
That's an award in itself.
Yeah, right.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, you guys hate us?
They should have that award. That the award is that the person most likely to win didn't because they're hated.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have that. We'd win that.
You're a total dick.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah, and it should just be a dick. Like you guys have your vagina award, there should just be a dick.
Okay, so speaking of that award, that trophy was in the nominees. I am telling you, I am
trophy.
picketing outside of Poker Go Studio. I'm just joking, Brent. But I am picketing outside of Poker Go Studio if that Vag trophy does not win a GPI award.
I agree.
That trophy needs to win.
Ever.
That's been the most talked about trophy all year. No one cares about other poker trophies.
Yeah.
And my friend won another one of those trophies in Las Vegas during the WPT.
Yeah.
Resorts World had a ladies event for that.
Can I get one for here?
You know what? Let's figure it out. Let's get you one.
Even if I have to, I want to pay for it.
I tried so hard to get you one because I think I got 4th in that one ladies event. And I really wanted to bring it here.
Bad. Right
and
there.
Just
Isn't it like purple and blue?
I would have left it here.
It's like pretty.
It's a nice badge. It's a purple badge.
It's very nice.
So
I like it.
So Hustler.
Okay.
I want to ask you something. And I haven't asked you this.
No, I don't know what this is. I know this is organic.
I know you can edit this out if you want to, but I don't think you should.
Go.
Is Garrett welcome back?
Oh, I won't edit this out. I'm going to answer it this way. Nobody's not at this point welcome back. I'm not trying to be politically correct.
So everyone's welcome back.
No, hold on.
What's not welcome back? Everyone.
Well, because I
could
could say to you dogmatically, which I haven't used that word all. Yeah.
You use that.
Okay, you said nihilist, please. All right. So here's the thing. I could say to you very easily, yes, this person is or isn't, and I can just be really matter of fact about it. We haven't discussed it to the length to give you a final answer. So my answer is, there's nobody that has been not invited back or allowed back officially. With that said, nobody's asked to come back.
Let me tell you something. I know you, and I know you're a marketing guy.
Okay.
Say what you guys want. he fucking has a plan for everything. You know how to cause controversy and stir things up and stir the pot. I know you.
Yeah.
And you know Garrett's comeback would be huge.
Sure.
Huge, as Trump says. Huge.
Huge. Yeah, well, I like Garrett.
I do too.
And I have nothing against Garrett at all. So even to discuss it as he wouldn't be allowed back, Garrett did some things that I wasn't happy with. I've talked about this openly, and he handled this situation even after the fact. I think worse could it be, and he did kind of imply a lot of things happened that he doesn't have hard facts on, and that shined on us, not just Robbie. So I didn't really take too kindly to it, because unless you have a fact, you're kind of throwing a lot of people under the bus. With that said, I know he means it. I know that he believes it. And I like him, and I have no residual anything with Garrett, and I would welcome him back. I'm just telling you that we haven't officially said that. Ryan and I, and this is the part I won't say, have some differences on what we both believe should happen to your question. And to respect my partner, I'm not going to say what they are, but we don't see eye to eye.
What about what's her face?
We don't see eye to eye on both.
I love that you just knew who I was talking about.
Yeah, we don't see eye to eye in that situation at all.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so, but nobody's asked to come back, and we haven't crossed that bridge, so I don't want to.
Oh, Robbie, what's her face, didn't ask to come back?
No one's asked to come back.
Interesting.
Yeah, no one's been told no one's been told yes. And listen, here's the beautiful thing. Yes, you're right. If I was to be creative, I could probably blow the internet off the roof off it. But here's the thing. What I found out through this and over the last year and 5 months is that nobody's bigger than our show. And here's what I mean by that. When we first started, we were a nothing burger. We were just an idea. We were like, we're launching on August 3rd. And everyone had a lot of leverage on us, which was, will they play our show? If they do, I want this, I want that, I want this. And that went on for a very long time because we had to concede to it. Now, I'm not saying we're cocky, because we're not, because we still concede to a lot of personalities, because a lot of poker players are divas and they have demands, and we still do that. We're making business decisions. But what I have learned is there's not one single poker player that could say, hey, and that our show is going to go under. If our show goes under, it's just because it's going to for whatever other reasons. It's not going to be contingent on a player. But we were worried about that.
In the corporate world, there's like no one who is like the most talented person in the world where they're irreplaceable. Very few people are like that.
Yeah.
Almost nobody. If you leave your job, you could be the best person at what you do. You leave, someone will replace you. They don't really care that much about the quality of work that you're doing.
Yeah.
They just want the work done.
Right.
So speaking of divas.
Sure.
I want the tea. Who's the biggest diva on Hustler Casino Live?
The biggest player? Diva?
Diva. Who has the most demands? Who's the most difficult to deal with?
Okay. In the past, it was Garrett.
Ooh. What were his demands?
What was her demands?
What were his demands?
He wanted to dictate what the lineups were.
I mean, he wants the soft games.
But guess what? That's not anything bad.
That's not like diva behavior.
Why? It's his business.
Right.
This is me and Garrett have had hours of talks arguing.
I want to hear diva stuff.
Diva stuff. Okay.
I want only red M&M
Blank check
stuff.
Ben's a diva.
Why?
He also, there can't be a few people in the game. He has to have certain type of players. If he's keep in mind, I don't want him mad at me, but if he's not in a good mood, he has a tendency to, like, he lit Ron up one night. He didn't like the poker bunnies he thought was an angle. That was legit though, because he didn't know if it was. I was commentating a couple times, and Ben does not want compliments. He wants to be known as a whale, and I complimented his game, and he was furious. And he told Ryan, if I'm ever on the mic again, I better not ever do that again. And so when he's in a hand, I don't say anything if I'm commentating, because I don't want to say the truth, because there are a lot of truths that are like, what are you doing? But I kind of did that once too, and he didn't like it. So I just, I have to be really careful with him. Now, with that said, I've gotten to know him a lot better. I wouldn't play in the Friday game because he didn't like that I was, too tight, and he was complaining about it. And I just stopped playing on Fridays to accommodate our players. But Ben and I are friends. When he played in a Tuesday game, I like him. And I'm not just saying this. If I didn't, I would tell you. I like him. We've gotten to know each other better. He needed something once. He called me. I took care of it, a problem he had. I refer some people to him. Him and I are good, but he's a diva. So he gets really upset.
When I did commentary at Stones, after every game, I'm telling you, every game, especially the bigger the game, the more complaints.
Yeah.
So before the next live stream, I would meet with the guy who's running it, and he'd have a list. So-and-so called in and said, you said that he was thinking that he didn't know where he was in the hand, blah, blah, blah. Because when you're doing commentary, I'm really good at like making up a story. I don't know if it's fucking true. I'm like, yeah, he's probably thinking this. You got to say something. You're not just going to sit there, especially if I'm talking to my co-host and trying to make conversation and we're trying to dissect the hand. My co-host is doing an analytical breakdown and I'm talking about, hey, what are they thinking? What could else be going on? The color commentary. And I'm telling you every single time, so-and-so said that you said that they were thinking this. They were not thinking that. They were thinking this. I'm like, I don't even fucking remember the hand, bro. Who cares? Like, no one cares. They were so offended by so many things. I would just scrap it up, throw it behind me. I'm like, I'm not going to stop talking. Yeah. I'm not going to sit there and be like, there's an ace king. There is a flop of king 8-5. That, you know what I mean? Like, you have to have a conversation about shit.
Totally. Well, everyone.
Why are you going on a live stream if you don't want anyone to say anything about you?
Well, it's very difficult. And, as you know, like and this guy's actually very nice and he's not a diva, but
no one says anything egregious.
No. But I mean, even Mickey got mad at me once because he played a hand that I didn't understand. And all I said was, I don't really know what he's doing, but wow, like that or something. And he didn't like it. But, and Ryan setting up these games, God bless his little heart. I don't know how he does it because these guys, that's where they really have the divaness is when like this seat, I need a seat. I've been supporting you. How can I not get a seat? This, I don't want that guy. I don't want this guy. So Ryan does this literally on the daily. And I don't know how he does it, but he's really good at it. And that's what makes him like so valuable. But as you know, as a commentator, it's like, even in the chat, like I'll commentate and I'll have 20 comments in a row. They think I'm funny. They like me. They're like, oh my God, I love when NV's on the mic. And then there'll be 5 in a row. Like I'm muted. I can't listen to it, and they want, someone to their different style. So you can't please everyone. That's just the way it is. Players or, people in the chat or whatever. You just got to be you. You've taught me this. You just got to be you and that's it. Fuck it.
I taught you something?
Yeah, I kind of used, because when we first met, I was way more hypersensitive to the troll. And you're like, why do you give a shit? I'm like, I don't know. But I promise you, I'm not even kidding. In the chat, unless they say 1 or 2 things that is really nasty, nothing bothers me.
Now,
nothing.
Do you think it's ironic for you to say that and have your intro the way it is?
What's my intro?
Warning.
Oh, that's just a thing.
If you're easily offended.
That's just a thing. That's just like a thing. I mean, yeah, I get even people in the comments now, oh, this isn't even that like edgy. Why do you have to say that? It's like such a false average. It's like, guys, fuck off.
You know one thing that's funny about like super duper fans? There's super fans and then there's super duper fans. The super duper fans will remember every fucking thing you say and then throw it in your face in the comments for the next 10 shows. Be like, but you said this, and then they'll repeat it in every show.
Every show. They will tell you, the super fans will tell you how many packages of ketchup you use when you eat a hamburger. I'm not kidding. They notice and regurgitate everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are some content consumers out there, and I'm a content consumer with some. I'm a fan of like some TikTok personalities and some YouTube channels, but I'm not like throwing shit in their face if they contradict themselves.
Yeah. And once I really didn't like take offense to a lot of that stuff and leaned into a lot of it, and over time, where I think people have gotten to know me, like I go in the chat now. If I went into the chat before, like a year ago, I get slaughtered. Even me, like on the owner show, I get slaughtered. I go in the chat now, it's totally positive. It's like, I'm not totally, I get here and there, but it's like, I really like these guys now. Like, I'm not even joking. Like they're like, a lot of them have become like our family, like where they really support us. And
it takes time to build
a community. And so I really look forward to going in there because they want to ask you questions. They want to talk. And so every time I get a chance, I always go in the chat and I try to answer every single question because that's what I would want if I was in there. So, whatever. Full circle.
You're such a good person.
180, baby.
You're literally the best.
I am. Oh my gosh.
I've never met a better person and a better poker live stream owner.
God. I know. Well, that's true.
How do you not just get every single award at the GPI Awards?
I don't know how I cannot
You're
be
not
nominated for everything.
One.
I'm not going to get any.
Wait, if Hustler wins, who's going to collect? Ryan? You don't travel, right?
No, I'll go to that.
You're going to go?
It's Vegas. I drive.
Oh, is Ryan going to be
Vegas.
your date?
They better, listen, if we win, they better have 2.
Right. Is Ryan going to be your date?
Probably.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. Well, they better have 2. But I don't even think we'll win. So whatever.
What do you mean? You don't think you're going to win?
Because it's from your peers.
And your peers hate you?
I don't know.
Why do they hate you? What did you do?
Because I partnered with you.
Well, yeah.
Fair
sorry
enough,
about
right?
your luck.
Fair enough, right?
I think that I'm just hanging on by a thin
I don't think
string.
that a lot of people hate me. I think there's a few that do.
Oh, no, they fucking hate you.
I can't laugh because of the cough. But yeah, probably. Whatever.
So before we finish, what's in store for Hustler Casino Live in 2023?
Sure. Well, I've said this so many times.
Oh, well, tell us something new.
Yeah, so I'm still going to say it for the people that didn't hear it.
Give us like a secret show you're planning, or if Mr. Beast is coming back or something.
We're going to do more of that.
Give us a smidge.
Well, we have a lot of opportunity to take our show to another level with some networks as far as like documentaries and maybe even like what do you call them, reality show type thing. So we're going to be entertaining, doing some things with our show, poker related and player related, that I think are going to be cool. They're in the works.
What about the Chinese market?
The Chinese market is the one I was referring to. We have a 3-year agreement with a really fucking badass company that is going to, right now, has been taking all of our content with no audio, with audio but no commentator.
And they're going to do commentary over top of it.
And they're going to do the commentary and do everything in Mandarin, Chinese, this, that. There's like a bunch of different countries we're going into. And so they're going to take us and do that. We got a great revenue split with them. They also have some products that they're going to roll out that are like in China, like a WPT Global, like something like where they go online. So we have a partner split with their product as far as their online gaming. Are you learning Mandarin or Cantonese right now? No, but I wish I knew it. I'm not even kidding. I wish I knew it. No, I'm not learning it. Who I work with speaks English. I should get a coach, but I might have a downswing, so I don't want to do it. I don't want to see that downswing. I don't want to have a downswing in Mandarin. The other thing is, I can't laugh because of this fucking cough. The other thing is, that's pretty cool, is I've secured a couple of sponsors for this show. And one of them is this really, I can't say what it is, but it's a really cool product. It's an app, and it's like a total poker community of news and like real-time video of things happening. I that's all I'll say. Anyways, and so they're becoming a partner too in a lot of ways. So that's going to be really fun, and I love their product. And then another one that I'm waiting on to ink it this week before I say anything. And then as far as the show sides, like we're partners with the WPT, so they are going to keep sending us their ambassadors, the Phil Ivies, the this guy, the that guy. They've signed on a few different players that I can't yet mention. That will be a big, and then for sure we're gonna have a creator show. Is it like, so Phil Ivey's such a big name, but he's so quiet and reserved. Sure. Is it still as fun to watch, you think? Like, does the audience still just want to see him sit there? Like, I know he's playing, but it was a weird week, the week he was on. I get it. That was the whole Robbie Garrett hand. Sure. But I'm just wondering if he would draw as much as someone who would be like more talkative and fun. Okay. So it's a combination of things. Like, if it was all Phil Ivies, you couldn't have the show, because then there just isn't enough personality. But Phil Ivey is one of the greatest, if not the greatest poker player in the world. So people still want to see him. And there's still this,
It's like Tom Dwan. Like, it doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter.
It's this draw that they just want to watch how he plays. They want to see him. They want to whatever. But if you combine that with a diva, whales, personalities, and you have all that mix, so that's what when we do something like this, we make sure there's all of that. Like, we could never have a show of all personalities just like Phil's. So we blend him in with a bunch of characters. So you have some people tuning in just for the pure fact that Phil's there. You have some people that are trolling, saying, "Oh my God, this guy didn't even play. He's looking at his phone, whatever." And then they're still looking to have, Mr. Beast on the show and do this. So that's the thing. So even when Ryan's building these lineups, even on the daily, not even the big shows, that's what's going into is the mixture. And it's so hard because there's 9 seats. And there's a billion people that want every one of those seats. And the mixture has to be, and as Ryan puts it, the fun players, you have to have the foundation of fun players. And if you're going to have a pro, they got to bring something to the table, which is fame, recognition, or a huge following. That's going to be plus EV for us. So you just have to, it's like a recipe.
Yeah, Sashimi's got the recipe right.
Sashimi's the nuts.
She is so smart. She has created this persona, and I think everything she does is so calculated and brilliant. And she just re-trolls. Everybody lost their minds with that video, which got taken down, right?
Yeah.
But it created such a stir, and then she re-trolled, and then she wore a nun outfit.
A nun outfit, yeah.
Oh my God, I lost my mind when I saw that. I was like, Sashimi, hats off to you. You're literally the best.
If you ever listen to her too in game flow, she's brilliant. Like, she plays dumb. Then she trolls. Then she slow rolls. Like,
and then she pretends she doesn't know English.
She doesn't know English. Like, the first couple times I played with her, I didn't know if I was coming or going. I believe she didn't understand what I was saying, but she did. And she's really witty and funny.
Yep.
And
I got that within a few minutes of playing with her because she was on my right, and she started kind of nudging on me, and I could tell someone who wouldn't get her would probably be upset, and I think that works in her favor too. But I was like, oh, I fucking see what you're doing, and I started giving it back to her, and then we started bonding. I really like her.
She literally didn't know if she was joking or not. She was so good at it. She's like talking to me. She's talking to me. I didn't even know at first when I first met her at the table. She's like talking to me and pretend like she doesn't know English. But she looks at me like flirty. She didn't mean it either. She has no interest. She's got a boyfriend. She's really happy. And she goes, "You like Asian?" I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I fucking like Asian. And she's like, "Oh, no English." I'm like, oh. So she's awesome.
Shout out to Sashimi.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to 2023 in Hustler Casino Live. And you're not winning any awards at GPI, so it's watchable this year.
I'm nominated for another one. Do you remember what it's called?
You're not nominated for shit.
Yeah, I am.
What are you nominated for?
Influence Person of the Year?
No,
I swear to God.
Fattest
Ryan
Poker Player of the Year?
Oh, my God.
Influencer of the Year?
Not influencer. What's the word? Where's my phone?
He doesn't know the word.
Yeah, because I got no shot. Not influencer. Ryan's nominated too.
That's broadcaster. I saw Ryan on the broadcaster.
No, that's a different one. He's on broadcaster.
Damn, Ryan's just out here getting nominated for everything.
Ryan's gonna clean up.
Ryan's winning some.
I'm gonna steal his award. So hold on, let's see.
You better bring it over here. And
I sent it to you.
You sent me. You got nominated for something?
Yeah, man.
Oh my God, this is what happens when you have a geriatric person running a show.
Well, you know that. I didn't even know what double authentication was, so now I got trolled for that.
How big is your text when you text people?
My font's not all that big, but I do have my bifocals.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. These are bifocals too.
Yeah. Well,
I can't survive without my bifocals.
Right around 40, 45, it just happens. There's nothing you can do. Yeah, I don't know.
Is that when your tits started sagging?
I got no sagging tits. I pulled my shirt up. I would tell you this. If I sat here with my shirt off and you off, I'd probably get more compliments than you. Seriously.
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
Nick.
Even though you got Vertucci's, I don't know where it is.
Put on your BiPAP machine and shut up.
My what? My CPAP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was a fun show.
Yeah, it was good.
It's good. We couldn't figure out what you're nominated for.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. There's like 80 million people in it too. I mean, I just was like,
yeah,
lost.
You'll probably win for sure.
Oh yeah. I'd like to thank. Yeah. No, that's not gonna happen.
But like, have a ridiculous award speech.
If we win.
No, not for Hustler. Hustler, you gotta let Ryan talk. You can't talk when Hustler wins.
What are you talking about?
You're gonna talk.
I'm a good. I'm not saying I'm gonna, but why? I'm a good talker.
You're barely able to speak English. What are you talking about?
No English. Okay, if a speech for what?
So outside of Hustler's gonna win for live stream. If they don't, then
that's a
then
fugazi. If we don't,
you guys have a speech for when Hustler wins?
No.
Okay, so are you gonna have a speech if you randomly win Poker Personality of the Year?
Preparing for that would be like preparing to win a fucking marathon for me. I'm not going to win. So why would I prepare?
So if you do, if the 1 in a millionth chance that you win, just make sure you go up there and be like, well, fuck, Veronica, I guess you were right. I should have prepared.
That's right. And no, I got no shot. But that's fine. I at least was glad to know that it was because my stuff wasn't put up on those other platforms, because it was a little weird for me at first. I'm like, maybe this isn't a real snub, you know? I mean, it's the Nick Vertucci show. What? How are you going to? Yeah, I know you look at the sign. I've trained you.
Yeah, the Joe Rogan show. Yeah.
Why? Because it's round? It doesn't say the Nick Vertucci Experience.
It should.
What if it was square? Then it's not Joe Rogan? I mean, that's not Joe Rogan's face. It's a lion. It's not my face.
That's my face. That's my hair.
No, you thought that was a tiger. You remember?
Yes.
Back in the old days?
It was our first show.
Yeah. That was funny as hell.
That was funny.
Anyways, okay. You done?
I'm done.
You're done.
I got to go to the airport.
Get out of here. This is the Nick Vertucci Show. I am Nick Vertucci. For Veronica, Valerie, Brill, we're out. Envy out.